So good afternoon. I'm Christoph Ricker from yband Therapy. We are a startup in Switzerland. We market a device for stroke patients that have a paretic arm. A paretic arm is an arm that patients cannot properly move due to the problems in their brain. The motoric center is affected and they need to relearn how to use the arm again. So that is a cumbersome process. It takes a long time. People get frustrated and they don't want to do it, or they stop to do it. They forget about their arm. And we, with our wearable device, remind them that the arm is present, that they need to do some training. And through the smartphone app with the tree of recovery, we add some playfulness to the whole activity. And they don't need an extra device for doing the training. So our product is not a training device, but it's a device that motivates them to do more training. They can use any object they have at home, a glass of water, the doorknob, and just do the exercise that the therapist told them to do. We start with our product offering at the rehabilitation hospital. There the clinic has the possibility to use our app on the iPad together with two trackers. They look like this. And with this they can compare the use of the paretic arm and the healthy arm. So that gives them an important indication about the progress in the therapy. Later, the patient will buy his own device, and that device works together with his smartphone, where he has the tree of recovery. When he comes back to the inpatient inpatient clinic, the therapist can again read out the data and monitor the progress also when the patient is at home. So we have talk about 70 million strokes every year, about 60% survivors. And if you add the survivors worldwide, that gives you about 26 million stroke survivors. About 40% of them are in need of arm and hand rehabilitation. And it can affect anyone in this audience. So the core of our system is the tracker, the wearable device that independently from a smartphone is able to calculate the smartphone daily target for the patient, and in case he is lagging behind of reaching the target, gives a reminder on the paretic arm directly, which is important because we like to put the focus on the paretic arm and not on a smartphone that is somewhere in the pocket. So patient need to know the arm is there. And this can be then linked via Bluetooth to the smartphone to collect the data, visualization, also sending data to the therapist, and in the clinic to link to the iPad. We've started in 2015, achieved already quite a lot. I just give you the important things. Our device is approved as a clinical device, class 1 in Europe, so we can sell it in any country that accepts CE label. We have the apps in the App Store. We have transitioned from a development-focused company to a sales mode. We have first distributors that signed contracts with us, just another one today. And we have now demo units in several clinics. The focus for next year is pushing the sales, really building the sales in Europe. And we also want to prepare to go into the US market. So prepare FDA clearance as a medical device, and then probably 2019 enter the US market. We had currently an investment of $2.2 million US. With that, we achieved all what we did. The burn rate came down now after the heavy development phase, and we currently burn about 100K every month. We are looking for an additional funding of about 1.5 million. Some we have already, but if we find another 1.5 million in extension of this round A, that would be terrific. We start or project some 2 million sales next year and 7 million in 2019. So with that, I'd like to thank you in the name of all my team, some experienced people that have been in medical device or in sales for quite some time. Thank you very much.
Can you describe to me the sales process? Are you selling to the user of the product, or is the customer somebody who runs a medical clinic?
So the Pro system we sell through distributors to the rehabilitation clinics and doctors' offices. And the Me, we try to sell directly through our web shop, and also through web shop of partners of ours that put the product on. But maybe in one interesting new channel pops up that we have the small offices in Europe where they have 3 or 4 therapists, and they are interested in promoting the product and get some kind of a kickback when selling the product. So and that solves also the problem that we have people knowing the product, knowing how to use the product, and where the patient has trust in these people and they promote our product. That will be the ultimate goal then.
Christoph, it's a 2-part question. The first would be, have you identified U.S. rehab hospitals or clinics to actually pilot and validate this in the U.S.? Second part of the question would be the reimbursement model.
I'll answer the second part first. Right now, it's all out of pocket. We run a clinical trial in Switzerland right now with the University Hospital in Zurich to get the clinical data. With this, we then try to get reimbursement, at least in Europe. For the US, to answer your first part of the question, we right now did some research on potential clinics that we will address. There is a program to come to the US that is sponsored by the Swiss government. I will participate in such a program, probably in spring this year, to come here, stay a few weeks to do the validation and find the clinics to work with.
And so far, what have you found the evidence is for the difference between with this device and without? What is the difference in improvement? There are papers from, for example, from a group in Hong Kong that did a research with a simple, basically a timer that issues a reminder every now and then, just based on time. And the result is that it is equally good as the gold standard in this type of therapy, which is the constraint-induced movement therapy. So with this, and the CIMT is a negative reinforcement because you punish the patient, you bind, for example, his arm to strap the arm, and so force him to use the arm. And this is a positive way of stimulation that we achieve and other people did in clinical trials.